Welcome to my channel. Today I will read the book, Wally Cosm, Dragon Hiccups. Dragon Hiccups, illustrated by Benjamin Birch, adapted by Kristen L. Depkin based on the episode Dragon Hiccups by Adam Peltzman. One day while Wally and Norville were playing, Norville made a strange sound, and fire came out of his nose. He had the dragon hiccups. "Don't worry, buddy," said Wally. "We can fix this." Norville stood on his head. He held his breath, but his hiccups wouldn't go away. Splash! Wally thought a drink of water might make the hiccups disappear. He waved his magic stick and shouted, "Water!" But nothing happened. The magic words that they had to rhyme was bash. "Splash!" said Wally, and a splash of water landed in Norville's mouth. Norville kept hiccuping, so Wally took him to see Ogre Doug. "There's a cure," said Ogre Doug. He handed Wally a list and a beaker. "You just have to find these 5 things, then put them in this beaker. Mix them up, and put a little drop on Norville's nose." First on the list was a thread from an ogre's pants. Doug was an ogre, and he was wearing pants. He plucked off a thread and dropped it into Wally's beaker. Next, they needed a potato from a giant. "I know where to get that," said Wally. He and Norville headed to Gina Giant's house. On the way, Bob Goblin heard them. He decided that he would scare Norville to make his hiccups go away. "Dandelions are scary," said Bob Goblin. He picked a handful and ran after Wally and Norville. Wally and Norville arrived at Gina Giant's house. "We need a giant potato," said Wally. "Do you have one?" "Of course I do," said Gina. She gladly gave them a giant potato. Crash mash! The potato was so big, it started to roll down the hill. Wally needed a magic word that rhymed with bash to make it stop. "Crash!" shouted Wally as he waved his stick. A wall popped up just in time for the potato to crash into it. But the potato started bouncing right toward Wally and Norville. "Wally Cosm, Wally Cazado," cried Wally. "Give me a word to stop this potato." His magic stick made the word mash appear. "Mash!" shouted Wally. With that, the giant potato turned into mashed potatoes. Splat! The mashed potatoes landed on Wally and Norville. Wally put some in his beaker. Next on the list, a pinch of mud from a swamp. Suddenly, Bob Goblin popped out from behind a rock. He waved a bunch of dandelions in front of Norville to scare the hiccups away. "Dandelions aren't scary," said Wally. "Come on, Norville." They left Bob Goblin with the mashed potatoes. Wally and Norville found the swamp, but Stan of the swamp wouldn't let them take any mud. "Mine," said Stan. Stan said he would give Wally and Norville some mud if they gave him something to eat. "I only eat worms and succotash," said Stan. Succotash rhymes with bash. "Succotash," said Wally. He waved his magic stick, and a plateful of succotash appeared. Stan dug in and let Wally take some mud. Succotash. Next, Wally and Norville needed slime from a lightning snail. They found the snail, but it was too fast to catch. Wally waved his magic stick. "Dash!" he shouted. Wally and Norville ran super fast. They caught up to the lightning snail and got a blob of slime for their beaker. They passed Bob Goblin, who was now trying to scare Norval with a pink teddy bear. "Not scary," said Wally. The last thing on the list was a flower from the top of the ice volcano. Wally and Norval were flying to the top when the volcano began to erupt. "We need something to protect us," cried Wally. "Trash." The only thing he could think of that rhymed with bash was trash. He waved his stick, and a trash can appeared. The lead made a perfect shield. Bob Goblin followed Wally and Norval to the top of the mountain. Wally and Norval reached the flower, but it was frozen. They needed to find a way to melt it. Just then, Bob Goblin popped out from behind an ice wall with a marshmallow. He thought the marshmallow would scare Norval. It didn't, but Norval hiccuped and unfroze the flower. Wally and Norval added the flour to the beaker and went back to Ogre Duck's house. The mixture was finally ready. Wally poured a drop on Norval's nose. It worked. Norval's hiccups disappeared. But just then Hiccup. Wally got them. Now they needed to find a cure for the troll hiccups. The end. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share our videos with family and friends.